G'day fishos, Tackle World Paul Stevens, Friday Fishing Report, welcome back. Now, this weekend weather, Friday today's looking a little bit iffy with a southerly change coming up the coast. Not much of a southerly, but it's going to swing around to the southwest for Saturday and more to the west on Sunday. In fact, it's probably been the best week of weather that I've seen for, I don't know how long, 3 months I reckon. And that's been fair income. So there you go. So this weekend looks pretty good. Saturday, Sunday looks the better day. I think it'll be okay to get offshore. Definitely fishing the beaches, the rocks and the bay will be pretty good this weekend. So my suggestion, get out there and get fishing. And lots of people have this week. Plenty of reports this week. So we'll begin in the bay. Plenty of brim still about in the bay. If you're keen to go and throw some lures around, hard body, soft plastics, plenty of brim still about. Harley and his son and daughter actually fished with plastics, did really, really well. So it's a good introductory to kids this time of year to catch fish on lures, and there's been plenty of brim around those natural rock walls up towards Soldiers Point, around the islands there, around North Arm Cove, places like that at the moment, fishing pretty good. For brimbos, water temperature is pretty cool though. It's only about 15 degrees at the back half of the bay, which is natural for this time of year. So fish lighter leaders, 4 to 6 pound leaders will be the ticket. That water's starting to clear a little bit up that way, which is good, but those lighter leaders will certainly help when you're lure fishing up that way, that is for sure. Harley's also been getting some nice winter mulloway on the live scope. So he's been using the live scope and nailing some really, really nice estuary mulloway. And for winter, with the water temperature the way it is, he's doing pretty well, I reckon, because those mulloway can be very, very hard to tempt, especially on a lure in the middle of winter. When we get that warmer weather, when there's more bait in the bay, they definitely bite a lot better. But he's doing really well on the live scope, chasing those due around the bay. Spoke to Paul from Fishport Stevens Estuary Charters, same deal, getting some really nice brim. I've noticed some photos this week. He's getting some young kids out there into fishing, which is great, school holidays. But also little Mac tunas are in the bay as well. The odd longtail being seen, but those Mac tunas are definitely feeding on that micro bait. Those armour anchovies, even the 5 gram armour anchovies, doing the trick. My suggestion is what we've been doing is changing that treble hook out to a single. You get a much better hookup rate to a size 1 single on the back of those at the moment. So Mac tunas in the bay, which is good to see. If you're land-based fishing, the 2 breakwalls, the Anchorage and Nelson Bay, holding some good brim there. I know some kids that are in our fishing comp have been nailing some good brim at both breakwalls. Ludrick are there, that's for sure, so claim your rock. Write your name on a rock maybe. So Ludrick at both of those breakwalls at the moment. KO sent me a photo last night, woke me up out of my deep sleep, got a nice kingy down in the marina. So a nice fish, I think it went 82 centimetres. So the kings are back around the breakwall there, so that water cleared up, pushing those kingies in. And you often find the Ludrick fishermen get annoyed by a big king occasionally when they try and eat the Ludrick. So some kingies back in the bay. Good to see. Good winter fishing at the moment. That bit of fresh. Like I said before, I think spring's going to be a ripper, especially on the flatty scene, that's for sure. So that's the bay in a nutshell at the moment, fishing pretty well. Now the beaches. Beaches fishing exceptionally well. Some big salmon about, some good tailor, but lots of brim on the beaches at the moment. So James has been flicking some gulps in around the beaches, around Fingal there in the gutters, and getting some really, really nice brim. He said he got one 43 centimetres on a little gulp curl tail there, fishing the gutters with soft plastics. The swell hasn't been big. I think it'll pick up a little bit in the next couple of days, but the gutters holding some really, really nice brim at the moment. Fingal been fishing really well. Samurai, I believe it's still blocked off. Walk in only if you're keen, but you can fish around Middle Rock. I know Middle Rock's got some good brim around it this time of year. Berubie Beach, well, you can get down there at the moment, and some good, really nice brim down there, and plenty of salmon schools with tailor mixed in as well. So beaches firing. Now the rock fishing, plenty of drama around. I spoke to Adam. He fished for Shoal Bay Fishing Club over the weekend. He got his mixed bag of species off the rocks. So you got brim, ludrick, drummer. So it's that time of year. The moon's coming back off. I reckon it'd be a really, really good time. We're going to get a little bit of wash in the next couple of days. I think it'd be a really good time to go and chase a snapper off the rocks. I'll be going throwing some plastics around the washes as well, throwing some gulps in there and some quarter-ounce jig heads. I reckon you'll get some nice reds off the rocks, that's for sure. A couple of longtails still at Tomaree. There you go. It's sort of a common occurrence now. The last few years, they're hanging around a lot more. I think it's just the bait situation. With those long tails, they don't care about the water temperature. They just want to feed. That is for sure. So definitely worth fishing the rocks this weekend. And with that little bit of swell, I think the washers will fish pretty well. So fish the rocks this weekend. Now, the offshore scene, some good reds caught this week. Plenty of photos sent in, some really nice snapper. Again, Adam fished out of his tinny there around the front of Fingal, got some really nice reds on the soft plastics. I spoke to Ted. Again, he did the same thing. He said he got some really nice fish, just throwing plastics around the washers, so it'd be worth doing that. Further up the track, up around Broughton, I know I spoke to Brian yesterday. He lost a really nice fish. He had a junior angler on board. He said he couldn't stop a really nice snapper. Also had a big king come up as well. So there's some winter kings around at the moment, which is good to see, that clearer water. So if you're keen for a live bait or a stick bait, it'd be worth throwing that around for a kingy at the moment. There's lots of bait since we've had all that fresh move on. Lots of bait have moved in around the island. So fishing good for this time of year, that is for sure. It'll be worth running up to Edith and places like that as well. Around the Gibber at the moment. So now further offshore, a little bit of current on the shelf, 1.5, 2 knots. So it's making it a little bit difficult to go barcode fishing or deep dropping, but I reckon there'll be a striped marlin or two out there. I do know a boat that ventured to the south there 2 days ago down towards Sydney. Caught a really nice dolphin fish and a yellowfin south down towards the Norah Head Canyons. But I reckon out the front, if you're keen, you could probably catch a winter striped marlin. But unfortunately, yellowfin tuna are a little bit to the south. Looking at rip charts, we just haven't got that water at the moment. But you never know, that could change. And I've found that yellowfin fishing for Port Stephens is a little bit better once we get into August, September. So see what happens there. Anyway, so that's it for this week's Fishery Report. Make the most of this weekend's weather. It's not going to be too bad, I reckon. So get out there for a fish.